not a factor, but also at the same time, it was never going to be a factor with the AA in any way. So I don't know if it even matters. And we'll go into it. It's going to be an interesting one. WS bringing out that Timber Saw. Yoa bringing out the Ember. A hero that is just, this is dead. Like, I am keen to see what he does. Because you pick Ember into Kunkka to outplay, right? You pick it to try to dodge out these Tidebringers with Slight. You try to dance around. Try to be the better mid. It's to send a message. It's just not that easy to send a message with anymore.
No, I'm not really sure what the logic is. What also is strange to me is that when they committed to the more, like I was telling you with this poke, and I thought, oh, maybe this is the strategy. Like it's an interesting idea. But then the end of carry is Muerta, which is the opposite, right? She's a hero like kind of stands still and hits around her, right? So it's not. It doesn't seem like they're concerned about the Torrent Storm at all, which I think is a mistake for sure. I think that spell is going to kind of destroy them. Maybe they have some super strategy with Ember. What is the build even on this hero these days? Do you build like before? What are you supposed to do?
Ember?
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure. I think the last time I saw Ember, it did go Eul's, but that was because it was losing in that match I was casting, so...
Right.
As a winning Ember, I think you'd still want Maelstrom. In this game in particular, up against Naga always feels good. Maybe a Blade Mail, considering how value Blade Mail is again.
Could be, actually. That's not a bad idea. I was thinking maybe we go back to like the Radiant Ember days. I mean, that was the logic these days.
Might be a bit too greedy, I think, considering Yoa's playstyle of wanting to be active. I actually wouldn't be surprised if he went for Urn and just basically try to play this like a Spirit. Just be active early, roll around the map. Your hard control on Aurora isn't really there unless you run into the Bramble Maze, so you're pretty happy trying to dance around here for Yoa. And we'll see what he will decide down the line. Still taking a look down bot. You've got Savage on the Dusa, along with Ollie on that Phoenix, up against WS on the Timb, and Jokam on that Dazzle. And this is going to be interesting for WS because there's a lot of magic damage in this lane. There's a lot of long-range poke. He does love to go something like a 2-3-0 build on Timber Saw.
That's the right build, though. That's the correct build.
He goes for just the kill. Rushes the Kaya, looks for the burst play, and let's see if it pays off in this lane. I don't know if you can really feel comfy trying to jump Ollie once he has level 2. So, and easy Nix doesn't look like it will pan out. And of course, Savage will always just play back and play with a snake anyway.
Yep. For those of you who are not aware, not Timber Saw players, haven't watched WS, or Whisper, who's also doing the same thing and have been dominating, this hero's Rective Armor just kind of sucks. You're much better off playing as a nuker, which is why people are now skipping this altogether, and you play on Timber Chain and Whirling Death, which are still very good abilities because they didn't get nerfed. What are you doing, Jokam? Actually, what are you doing? He has walked almost underneath tower. I guess he drew aggro for a while. That was a wild Dazzle play.
Yeah, weaving that fine line, and he forces the spirits out, so it's on cooldown. So
what are the two sides of the line? What is he weaving here, John? Tell me.
Dying and not dying. That's the fine line. Weaving in this line. He forces out at least again those spirits, so it's 20 seconds where WS doesn't have to get burned out. He just gets some levels, get the XP. Down mid, Yoa and Armel going at it. Jeez.
Yeah, this lane, I also thought, I mean, this lane used to be like slightly Kunkka favored. I was going to say, I thought it still is, but they did pick Ember into the Kunkka, so all bets are off with Ember. I actually have no clue. I barely see this hero ever do anything useful nowadays. Ponyo in the top lane. Tabs did go for the early ensnares, he loves to do. Tried to get the kill onto the Ancient Apparition, but Akashi covers him with a calling. And now Akashi is the one taking damage. He regrets ever helping his supporting friend. He should have just stayed farming creeps.
Yeah, misses out on a couple of last hits. Is lagging a little bit behind. You have a very stable lane to play with. It's some good control.
Is he gonna die?
Stuck in spot.
Oh, they're going for Akashi though. That's what they want. The deadshot isn't really successful. They killed Ponyo first. And now Akashi can still be a target. Akashi fights back. He has the creeps to back him up. And he's going to avoid that Shadow Realm shot by hiding in the trees. But they did feed First Blood over to Q. At least it's not Jabs who takes it.
Yeah, could have been worse. This lane is definitely a lot more painful for the side of town. Like, again, you don't have maybe the best combination to try to play with the cold feet, so it's not a lane that connects with too well. Yoa?
He's going to commit here. Got hit with the torrent. It kills off by the creeps. Okay. That was a play, John.
I mean, he almost had Armel. Armel pops his regen. Yoe, probably seeing that he wouldn't have had enough popping the Fairy Fire, does just decide to go for the reset. Costly, but that will at least force Armel to walk back. Doesn't have the X for the TP play, so he will still have some room to soak up on mid for at least a creep wave and try to soak up that way. It's a risky play from Yoe, but he loves taking these risks, right? Like what we've seen from him, he just plays tempo like crazy, doesn't care too much. He's going for this Flame Guard build, knowing that he can't get burned out or washed away by Armel anytime soon. Stuck with level 1 Torrent, so he'll always have some of that damage flying out, or at least if you do decide to try to play Chase here.
Okay. He's probably gonna lose this rune fight, I would presume, but at least we'll chase down Armel. Armel gets the water rune. You'll regret his life choices. Jokam is here to back him up, only with Poison Touch though. He does have a second skill point he can use in Shadow Word whenever he wants. Shadow Wave, sorry, whenever he wants to. But he hasn't leveled it up yet. Instead, Tangos.
Yeah, it's fine. Yoe is used to it. He's used to copying the short end of the stick in lane. Much stronger start for Aurora in the laning phase. It does feel like every single lane's going well, except maybe the bot lane, which WS is starting to dominate Akashi.
Akashi is very close to dying. He wants to commit to this. Akashi baited him out with a magic stick, but there was a Shadow Realm, and it didn't get avoided with a tree vision there. Very well played there by Q. Immediately shot a Shadow Realm projectile for a little bit more damage. In the mid lane though, Armel did take a couple of tower hits. Yoe, will he commit a second time? Has a Sleight of Fist level 2, but that means less Flame Guard damage, and he learned his lesson.
Yeah, not gonna go for it. Playing a little bit safer. Does have the full Orb of Corrosion, so trading back with Armel is a little bit better. Not by much. You already have the level 6 advantage here for Armel as well. Yoe is still win that one. He's not going to be able to go for the reset, the TP reset just yet. So top.
Yeah, jabs. He got forced back with a dead shot, but now the attack speed reduction has been making it impossible for them to kill jabs. Nice shallow crit by Jokam, saving Akashi's life for a couple more seconds, but that does not net them the kill. In fact, they still lose 2. Maybe overcommitting a little bit too far as Oli pushes Jokam away. Even with his rotation, they won't get that kill.
Yeah, that's a big one to find. Like this Muertes not having the best starts in lane. You are pretty much lagging behind in farm. Jabs isn't having the best of times either in build up. Turn is a lot better. Both committed already onto Yoe. Does manage to dodge, but
is he gonna still fight this? There's no more mana. That's his last Sleight of Fist. Jokam. He's taking the Shadow Grave. Instead use the Shadow Wave. Armel now with the Cold Feet. Not gonna get frozen solid. And Jokam gets a Tango, but he needs to get out of here. As Oli has come by, only Icarus dive available to him, but he does have a Healing Lotus and Magic Stick, so don't get too close to him.
All of that over a scuffle over the Arcane Rune, which is stolen away at the very least by Q. Again, having a good read as to what Talon likes to do. Try to grab every rune for Yoe. They're contesting it really nicely here on the side of Aurora. All of this free space for WS is starting to ramp up, but again, a kill threat onto Dedusa is maybe not the easiest thing in the world just yet until level 6 comes out. I think the Chakram changes this dynamic with the Medusa, which is inching closer for WS anyway. So we'll see if he starts to find that opening. Otherwise, Savage having a pretty free lane, well and above in comparison to Akashi, who's been struggling up. And this is set to escalate even more, right? The Dedusa flash farms pretty damn fast. The Muerta needs levels and items to feel good there. Like you need your Gunslinger to be up. You need a Maelstrom. Ideally a Mjolnir down the line before you feel really safe to join in. And that's just time to stall for Talon. So that momentum has to come out again from WS and Yoe.
Yeah, I mean, at least the Ember, there's one thing he still has that is very good about this hero, is his tempo, right? He doesn't need many items to get online. So even if he's lost his lane, he should still be useful as long as you have Sleight of Fist, you have the Aura Corrosion. At least that was the case before, right? We even saw this at TI. When Analog played the one Ember game this whole TI, he looked good for the first 10-15 minutes, and then terrible. But for the first 10-15 minutes, there was something being cooked there. So maybe Yoe can do the same.
We'll find out if he can.
I'm showing him hard, okay? I want this hero to not be this bad. Oh, Jokam. He does not have time to... Oh, wow! What a performance, Jokam! Get away! Dance it! Dance it! Oh, never mind. I forgot the Shadow Grave is 3.5 seconds, level 1.
Yeah, it's not had much time at all. Just all down.
Yeah.
At least it gives it to the Phoenix instead of the Kunkka, so that's something, I suppose. Although, more gold onto Ollie's not the worst thing in the world for a Phoenix to find. you're perfectly fine. Again, you're denying off these power runes. You've got a 6-1 start on Aurora. Talon, not able to really connect with her heroes yet. I mean, you still have this pretty fun lane for WS, but no one to collapse with him onto Savage to find some punishment. And you buy some space out for Akashi, but his farming pace without Gunslinger is atrocious. At the least Deadshot can clear these waves out, but he's going to be limited by his mana. Falcon Blade can only offset so much. And
Arcane Ring,
Aurora,
at least.
Arcane Ring, at least, I suppose.
At least
something.
We're coping here, John. We're coping.
We are. That's what casters are, aren't they? They just constantly cope.
That is. I mean, because your job is to hype up whatever team is losing, right, as much as possible. So, Talon, John, they're just biding their time for the right moment to strike. It's just, we just don't see it because we're not this good. I mean, sure, they might have nothing to gank with Timbersaw, but eventually they'll figure it out. I don't know how, but it's there.
Yeah, eventually appear. Maybe the timing would phase boost for Yoa is actually like non-sarcastically.
Yes.
Like more right foot damage, maxed out Sleight of Fist with the Orb of Corrosion is your early timing on Ember. They just need to find that area to play in. And again, it's almost always WS. It's almost always that off lane they connect to. Just need to find him. Jabs being disruptive, just farming up the top jungle. Massive amount of stacks still figured out or being built up again on the Ancients here by Armel.
Oh,
the Archcamp was already.
He's not dead yet, but the X marks his kill. However, Jabs taking a lot of damage, sings his way to victory. This lasts more than 3.5 seconds, so he'll be able to TP to safety.
Finds a gank kill.
Well, a little hop there by Jokam. So cute getting away from the torrent. Unfortunately, Yoa discovers that Willow is hard to kill, so it's gonna be WS who takes the reins. Tap me in, brother. I got her.
Yeah, just runs forward. Again, this is what WS loves to do, and just go for all the damage in the world with the Timber Chin, the Whirling Death, rip apart these supports. He is rushing the Yults this time around, so wants one defensive item at the very least to hold back from the control here of Aurora. Good scan from Aurora, doesn't quite find Akashi, but will find him eventually, and there you go. Oh.
Akashi, there's the Icarus dive, and the Supernova as well. They have to pierce the veil for him. I don't think that's going to help against all the magical damage, but at least it will reduce the physical, or immunize him. Akashi still alive after this, but hits into a bramble, which will spell his death. Yoe avoids that Terra. He's very well done there with the illusion rune. But he's now walking among 4 heroes. Okay. Where was he going, John?
I'm not sure. He didn't have a remnant back for safety, so just
no,
trying
he does
to
have a remnant somewhere, but where is it?
No idea. It's not opt to use anyway. So
I mean, there's a buff on him, right? So I can see the remnant duration on him. So there must be a remnant somewhere. Oh, it's mid. He did have a remnant to get out.
Why didn't he?
He was waiting for the X.
Probably gets punished for it. And Talon again. I mean, Yo is trying to connect. It's just not in here he'd want. Responding to these ganks. No one else comes in with him. They are at the point where you should be able to start playing. Again, WS is pretty big. You've got your level 6 on Ponyo. You've got your... which at this point doesn't amount for too much just yet. And Jokam with this game, not going for Midas, not going to be rushing Ags. We're not going to see that crazy damage output and healing from him anytime soon. So, the timings for Talon all thrown off. Aurora, they're in control. They're in cruise control right now. Savage has the freest game of his life, just farming up. This is some high-end Medusa gameplay. Sitting back and farming. I don't know how people can play this hero.
What do you mean?
It's not.
It's exactly the kind of gameplay I want to see. I don't know what you're talking about.
Every time my
Southeast Asia? Oh yeah.
My friends Turbo are like, "Oh, pick Medusa." I'm like, "Why? Why would you make me pick Medusa in Turbo? Are you insane? Are you unhinged? It's a Turbo game. I don't want to sit back and farm."
I see it's your word of the day, huh, John? You're really enjoying unhinged today. It's something you say very often in your daily life. Do you have a lot of unhinged people in your life?
Hang out with Michael Phoenix, you would know.
It's very true. I have hung out with him. I'm always there when they came out from the hotel. Every single time they do this in the tournament, right? I always see him on his way out, always wearing like half a sunglass or something. Oh, they're gone. Yeah.
Hair ruffled up like he just never fell asleep. It
Yes,
doesn't
yes,
even look
yes.
like he woke up. It's like he never slept.
Yes.
And man.
Somehow he manages to shave only half his face every single time that this happens to him. It's wild. It's wild. One day I wish to be more like Mike. Honestly. Oh, Joe comes. No, this hop this time was not as cute. Shallow grave, maybe? Nope. No chance. All right, this Dazzle is officially done absolutely nothing this game, John. No. It is officially a useless game.
I'm really curious as to what they were planning with this Akashi.
I think it's the shard, dude. I really only think it's the shard. What is happening? It's very, very dead. Yeah. It's not even worth a cast, John. It's not even worth a cast.
When are we going to see WS do something? Is my big question. Like, he is farming a storm, but he's doing nothing.
Who does he do things with? He's alone in this game. He's the only useful hero on Talon.
Just come with Yoe. Make Yoe.
Maybe now? Oh, look, he did something.
That's one. That's a big kill streak, right? Like, that's
really good.
To WS. Yeah. So they find it. They'll take a tier 1. Top tier 2 was pressured a little bit. Savage already has the Manta up. Going for the plastic Scotty. Nothing's really changed for this hero in a long time, so everything that worked before still works now. Talon, I mean, to be fair, right, we're at 15 minutes, only a 3 to 4k lead, which, considering an 11 to 3 kill lead for Aurora, is honestly not the worst gap I've seen, considering the state of the game. So it's very cope, but they are somewhat keeping pace in Talon. It is still atrocious. This game is still terrible for Talon, but it could have been worse.
It could have been worse. Yeah, I got nothing much to say to that, honestly. I feel like the tempo this time for Talon is not as good as last time, which allowed them to really take a strong mid game. I also feel like Aurora's tempo is a little bit better this time because Konka. I mean, once he gets Torrent Storm, I genuinely don't know how you fight these fights. And let's not forget, we still have a Dazzle in this game. A Dazzle 4 who does nothing.
Yeah. It's gonna be a while until Jokam does something.
I think he can Shallow Grave. Effectively.
I guess. At level 1, it's like, kinda meh.
No.
He's gonna need some more levels up. Honestly, yeah. I would say to Jokam right now, screw this Glimmer Cape, get the Myths. Legitimately. We've seen some supports do that, and I actually don't mind this game. Smoke out from Aurora on the hunt. They do feed, I believe they saw the Fire Spirit onto the ward, so Talon are able to back off. Except for WS.
Is definitely dead though. Oh, never mind. Sorry, another one from WS, right? Torrents. Plus that ghost ship and the Shallow Grave this time doing a little bit. Unfortunately, with Konka, it does not. It only delays the inevitable, because his hero has way too much to stop you. Ponyo will be the next target for them, but Yoe covers his partner, so he can escape a little bit. Ponyo's still struggling against the illusions. Where's the Dazzle Shard when you need it? As Yoe at least clears 23 Savage's illusions. And they have given a little bit of space to Akashi. He was really coping this game. Yoe though has to avoid this torrent. It's going to be impossible. Terrorize will hit as well, but a little bit of a bug there. Doesn't matter. If you hit on the edges of Tidal Wave, it pushes you away instead of towards the Tidal Wave. It's been a bug forever. That's why you never Tidal Wave when you're at the peak of the torrent. That will only push him away.
Beautiful. Good to know.
I love Konka. Yeah.
There you go.
No, he got on the right edge of it, okay? Well, okay, John, you know, why break why take the wind out of my sails, John?
I just, you know, if you talk to Mike, I like to make people suffer. My entire existence is just suffering.
Jesus Christ, he did not tell me that. Armel at least is dead. WS with a Blink Dagger. Acting a little bit like our Centaur with his Double Edge. And he's actually taking stats over Reactive Armor. If you ever need a testament to how terrible a spell is, that's it. He's
done this the entire close qualifiers. This is his build.
I'm aware. This is the build. This is the right build for Timbersaw. I'm just showing people how bad this spell is.
Reactive is just atrocious right now. It's really bad. Which is unfortunate because I always thought the Timbersaw Ags was one of the more fun Ags. It's funny, just having this constantly high regen rate shield that would go kaboom for some reason. It's pretty hilarious. It had its time in the sun.
The Axe is still good, I would say. It's just that the spell itself is very bad. So then it's like, what's the word?
You're not leveling reactive, so you're not gonna farm the Ags. So you're not gonna have the Ags until like 50 minutes in, if the game goes that long.
Yep.
So
exactly.
It's just gone. Talon, I mean, you were saying some space out for Akashi. This BKB timing for Muerta is pretty significant. And Muerta has this really weird power spikes with levels, so I think stall game's not too bad. Armel.
Ghost ship. We'll cover him a little bit here, but Timbers still have enough damage. There's the tidal wave. Chakram, though, should hit, and they don't even need it. That's going to be the sleight of fist killing him off as WS tries to get away. The unsnare keeps him in place, but he did get to his tree regardless. Jabs starts his song. What counter initiation may Talon have? They do have Jokam coming to the rescue, but he's really far away for now. WS is still rooted. They hit him with a curse crown, and that's a perfectly timed egg. However, the save last second from Jokam once again delays the inevitable. The story of this Dazzle's life is he gets a shot of him, it looks really fogged for half a second, and then you realize, oh wait, it means nothing.
That's pretty much it. It's stalling out a little bit. Again, it's not doing enough. I still find it rather funny that Talon are able to find Armel every single time. Like, out of their 5 kills, Armel counts for 3 of them, which is probably the last year you'd expect to die this often, but Takunka has been jumped quite a frequent amount of times by Talon. Now, going back to my point about this Muerta, I mean, you're still at the point where there is room to grow, a lot of room to grow for this Muerta, a lot of room to scale into. It's really the levels that feels really massive, like you get your 15 into 20, the 20 is your big power spike, but mainly also just your level 18 with level 3 Pierce the Veil. Like, Muerta needs so much of that, like every single added second of Pierce the Veil just feels massive. Combine that with the BKB timing into the Mjolnir. I think if Talon just wait for that, or well, at least push back until the BKB for Akashi, and maybe start playing once the Hyperstone is in, you can start to play a little bit better. But again, they're just buying space for that win condition right now. Talon's all in on this Muerta.
I think our Armel's going to be shoving out this lane in the end. He gets one of the spiders want to die. He's experienced the Timbersaw death. This X play is not as good against heroes like Timbersaw, as we just saw. He can actually kill you quickly enough.
Still has that burst damage. Kai is doing work. Has the ults now as well, to maybe even cut you off from torrenting out, from X marking back. So WS has some way of preventing that and trying to catch you off guard. I'm more surprised that Talon's still holding on to tier 2s, honestly, with how badly that early to mid game went. The fact that the tier 2 top is still standing gives him a little bit of reach and farm. WS.
That was a good play. Terrorize into the egg. However, they have nothing else to stop, but Jazz was in position because they guessed where he was going to Timber Chain to. So they conditioned him away in this fight. And as long as they deal with this Timbersaw, they don't really have any tools, like you said. He's the one creating space for them.
He is. I mean, Yui can only do so much. No one else can really connect with him. And they try to go for these chain blast plays, but there's no damage coming out from the Ember. It just doesn't feel like it's pumping out enough. They're just sitting back and waiting. 10k lead for Aurora now. Clearly in a very good position. Full Scotty up for Savage. A full BKB up for Armel, so he does opt for that before Regs, which I think is fair. Just remove any possibility of being held back. Yule's play, the counter action Timbersaw doesn't work anymore. So you're covering your bases. You're playing it safe. You don't need to rush this game on Aurora's end. You can play at the same pace Talon is, because chances are you're going to outscale with Naga and a Medusa. Like, there's only so much this one can do by herself.
I mean, Muerta does beat or has a better matchup than Medusa, right? Or wins that matchup, right? But with Torrent Storm in between, plus all the team fight that you have, like, the team fight for Talon is just not as good, or it's more early game oriented. And I don't know what to categorize the Ember as a scaling hero. Yeah. I actually have seen him so little that he completely falls off my charts.
Yeah, I just rate him as dead.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Maybe
he's not doing anything different, right? He's just doing the same build that Embers used to go for, which is this kind of pseudo tank that also can poke.
Yeah, I'm a bit surprised. Maybe he could have. Yeah, he's actually just rushing the Axe. I thought he would try for Blade Mail Maelstrom, maybe as a change up, but
I like your Vessel idea. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, but Yoe couldn't get momentum early enough, I think, to maintain activity with the Spirit Vessel. They're not finding kills in Talon, so I think that diversion is perfectly fine. 10k lead still stands. Aurora, again, no rush. Going for the Silver Edge on 23, going to the Butterfly next. Nothing to stop him from clearing out the top jungle. They're finding what they can on Talon. The scraps being left behind. Hyperstone coming out for Akashi at very least. That's something. More attack speed to play with. You get that additional second Pierce the Veil when 18 comes around. And maybe you have something with BKB. Maybe,
Yeah.
probably not.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, they didn't go for Torrent Storm, right? Which means that this BKB is not as impactful, because Armel has more tools against you in general with that BKB. He's concentrating on surviving. And this means that Aurora's timing is a little bit later, but so is Talon forced to play that later. And like you mentioned, like, it's just difficult to outscale this team. Especially because Jabs is... He's only an off-lane in name right now. He's like, actually building straight up like a carry.
Pretty much. And that's usually the nature of these Nagas. I don't see them shift out of this build anyway. Smoke on smoke for this Roche.
Okay, there's the shot coming into play, at least.
Radiant are scanning.
This is why they picked the Dazzle. Well, that's my assumption.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Fighting... I mean, they know the egg is available. It's a tough Roche fight for sure. So it's Stone Gaze. Once again, clearing the illusions, but this time Jab is starting to separate them because he understands the issue. Broke the Timbersaw means nothing because he's not a single point in reactive armor. Ponyo, though, in an awkward position here. He can still be killed. The Scotty Slow is pretty brutal on him. Mystic Snake is also available. Okay, they send him back with the fear. Torrent will hit. There goes Timbersaw. Forces the BK from Armel. The Ponyo will die regardless. And they put Akashi in a terrible position here. He's forced to use the Pierce the Veil, but just can't do much here. Can't even kill the egg. Just trying to get away. TP cancel. And that is going to be a huge win for Aurora, who poking and prodding Talon. They angered the bear. Now WS, he baited this portal switch, and instead he just went away with his Blink Dagger. Should be able to get the safety at least.
Should be able to bail out. And big win for Aurora. 20-5, 14k lead coming off the back of that. Not going to be able to find Rush, but they'll find the tier 1. Maybe still take the gate prots if they so wish. Talon just have no openings. How do you start these fights? You talked about the team fight element. You can start with X-Torrent on the side of Aurora. You can start with just running forward with Phoenix, trying to bait out Egg. You've got Ares Control on hand with the Dark Willow, with the Naga, with the Kunkka. Talon has an Ember that doesn't do enough damage, and a Timbersaw that can't survive through this onslaught. And there's just not much you can really try to do outside of bursting someone. WS.
WS hexed and killed. Shallow Graves will keep him alive a little bit longer. The wave doesn't quite stop at Timber Chain, but he still got stuck in the brambles. There's the Yule Scepter. Jabs coming into this. Blinks away, never mind. I underestimated that Shallow Grave. This time it did work for WS. Ponyo might pay for this, however. Glimmer caved. Jokam full saving duty here, and nobody is following Savage, so no kills. Okay, that worked out better than I expected, John. Oh, Mini Ponyo does die now. Another Shallow Grave. Jokam the savior, starting to come into play. Level 12 Dazzle. Going for Ags. Wait, going for Ags.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, it's that idea with a Shadow Wave counts it true. You can save your Hex now for bigger issues. You don't actually want to clear the illusions. You want those waves to bounce. WS will fall to Jabs. It's a pretty big kill on literally the only hero that has some play here on Talon. And Aurora.
Wow, he got cocky there, huh? He survived and then went back to the lane to farm it.
Yeah, pretty greedy, but it does get punished. I don't know what you do on Talon. I'm honestly grasping for straws. Like, they have this BKB on Yoip. It doesn't feel like it's going to do anything. They have a Muerta that just can't face into the egg when they put that on top with a Stone Gaze. They have no way of jumping in. They have no control in starting these fights until the Hex of WS comes out, which is still a ways off. So, yeah, I'm not sure. I think Aurora have control. They have a scaling lineup. And the only way Talon wins is if this game drags on to 60 minutes at around a 5k to 10k lead for Aurora. If you reach 50 minutes in, Talon has play, even at a 10k deficit, but I doubt those conditions come out at all, so,
They don't really have a force multiplier kind of hero that can take any lead and win it, you know, like an Enigma or a Tide might. And that is making it very difficult for them to play their late as well. I guess Muerta in the right situation, but they've been able to control her very well. Especially when the Axe for Armel comes out.
Yeah, it's not comfy for Akashi at all. Like, I don't know. Like, you have no answer for 23. You have an answer for the illusion spam from Jabs, but for the actual hero with a heart up now, doesn't feel like you're going to be able to poke and prod at her too well. This Ember Spirit experimentation has fell flat. Yoa has done nothing this game. Like, he's tried. Not for lack of trying. It's just Ember can only do so much. It's dead.
I just don't. I haven't been able to see the reasoning behind this here. I mean, I would say the same with Dazzle, to be honest, in the support position. Or at least, but in his case, there's not much justification. Whereas the Ember seems like I wanted to play Ember, hence I'm playing Ember. That's the.
Perhaps. Again, the only thing I can think of is trying to outplay Armel on mid, trying to dodge out, but even that didn't pan out.
Yeah, and that was one of the Timber that ended up doing that, right, as well.
It's mainly WS. Take Aegis on the side of Aurora. Secondary life up on 23. No, I don't see the Stusa dying twice over here. And the damage does feel underwhelming until Akashi gets his silver.
Borneo's gonna die. Okay, that didn't even take much effort. Savage just forced. He forced that himself. Oh, he didn't even need it. He had the Fusel Blade. That's why. That's why he got him from so far. Going for that disperser.
I like that. Just a little bit of a easier time chasing out, easier time just catching heroes off guard.
It's a very useful item when you have someone like like Naga offlane, right? Because you don't have a traditional initiator, so you just make everyone fast to go in.
Pretty much, it does. It's very cool. I like that active. I think it's a good compromise from the old Diffusal 2 recipe. I don't know, that's a long way back, but you know, it's a lot more interesting than Diffusal Blade 2. So I like that.
For sure. Yes, I miss the simplicity of those days. I miss when Slaughter spells were called, you know, Sprint, Bash, and then Reduce Armor, or Amplify damage, rather.
Yep. At times, as Jokum dies, he can reminisce as well. To a game where
he has 40 seconds for it. Back when Dazzle was a better support.
I mean, I'm trying to think. When Dazzle was a better support was also a long time ago. The last time I remember Dazzle being was like Necronomicon on mid. Which is also some time ago now. And there's also China that really loved that for whatever reason.
Really? Was that really the last time that he was relevant as a hero? That's pretty terrible. Oh. They have Orchid. There's a BKB though on Yoic. Still X'd, but the BKB lasts long enough for the X to be ignored. And he's gonna be able to get away. However, the tower can't walk out or remnant out. So the tower's dead.
That's all she wrote. By the Bucks game. Literally nothing coming out from Talon. Aurora just running down with her advantage. Disperser up on 23 now. And go for a reset and just go again. Nothing to stop him. What's your high ground defense? There's no team fight, there's no spells. It's just the Timbersaw that wants to go ham. And Ember that tickles you.
That was a very awkward tidal way. It was an attempt. Yeah, I agree. There's literally nothing to fear when you go up to this high ground. Akashi's even trying to bait them. They're gonna take that bait. They'll kill him if they can. Tidal Whip's available. Akashi? Okay, he can't be pulled down to the low ground. I guess his positioning was incredible. Because he calculated it, of course. Hexed up the Ember. It's still X-marked. Yoic tanking through this. Ice Blast deters Aurora's high ground. Turns out, even without any high ground, John, high ground just sucks these days. WS still cuts the wave as well, so yeah, they can't push.
They stall in town, so trying to default to the Aurora playstyle, the X-Talon playstyle of just go slow. Turtle mode in the high ground defense. Try to find an opening, get some items up. You've got level 19 up for Akashi, so he does have the max level Pierced Veil. Has the shard as well, but no one's been dying. So no additional spell lifesteal or spell amp coming in for him yet, which is a shame. And yeah, just stall. I suppose you have a minute and a half on the Aegis for 23, so you can try again.
Yeah, you just wait for these plays to happen, and because of the Hex, Yo is dead. If all silence Ponyo, he's not gonna get away. It's just 4 AA. There's the shallow grave. Send him back. You're not Timbersaw, my friend. It's not gonna happen twice. Aurora will take 2 kills relatively freely, and they try to go for a third, but Tidal Wave it doesn't quite connect there. Instead, they're just gonna try to hit the tower. Jabs though didn't get the memo. He went for the bottom tower, and then the backdoor protection triggered. Jabs will try to push out, so that WS cannot cut the wave simply and just stop them from pushing. But WS is near them anyway. Provided that option exists to him to begin with. Jabs is leaving his illusions behind, but he is gonna initiate. He's just walking in. He won't to be like WS last game. Hey, he does that pretty perfectly as Jokam gets caught out. Akashi also dies in the back line, or sorry, in the front lines there. Made 2 very easy kills for Aurora, who know this game is in the bag for them. It's very, very difficult talent to come back, if at all. Paul.
Yeah. I don't think it is. I think Aurora's got this one. There's no play. There's literally nothing to do. I can't think of a solution to this beatdown. It takes a ton of items. Like,
Yes.
Jokam is inching towards his Ags, which is nice. The damage is nice. He doesn't have anything like the Octarine to keep the spell spam along with a bad Juju active, so... I don't know. If you have the side of Vice and WS, this could be the opener, but only onto one, and they've got to make it count on the side of Talon. They'll lose 2 sets of racks, and Aurora, no need to really poke any further. Just pull back, Aegis expires, and just wait.
They can't just wait. They don't have to be honest, John. I just want to point it out in case anyone has ever popped the stream. If the Subby is watching, they don't have to. They could just also take the last one.
True.
Maybe the scythe is really that scary, but
Will they without Roshan? Avo?
I mean, it is not a talent. Sorry, what is? There's not an Aurora play for sure. This is a good play though by Talon. At least, I mean, the attempt at making a play. Just turtling in base will not win you this game. You might as well try to do something. This is the correct logic, even if it might be late to do this.
Yeah, not going to be finding anything. Maybe they can get some useful wards out. Plant one on the cliff. Side of Aurora, get a good read going on the opposite side, trying to sneak in to the bot area, but not going to go too far as well. 32k lead for Aurora and Talon. 27-5. Maybe next time round. And no more Dazzle and Ember. I think that is the change I'm expecting.
Yeah, I think the Dazzle, again, if it was for the illusions, at least there's some sense to it. I think the Ember is the one that you kind of have to change your game plan or reevaluate what you think of this hero.
Jokam has the Ags.
Let's see what he can do with this.
Damage, but it's not like his right clicks are particularly high, as he is.
That's why this Axe surprises me. Like, what is the purpose of it?
I guess Shadow Wave, healing, less about the right click, just bouncing into enemies, having that heal. I suppose, for the illusions. It sounds nice. Is it actually nice? I don't know. I think so.
I guess to shove waves also. Yeah, sure. The shoving waves could be kind of nice. How much kill participation does Jokam have this game? 0, 7, and 1. Honestly, to be fair, it's a fifth of the kills. 20% of the kills he's been part of.
He's done his job.
But he's also a part of 4% of the kills on the other side.
Yeah, it's fine. It's a sacrifice you're willing to make.
Sorry, not 4%, 25%. A fourth of the kills on the other side. Oh. Yeah, that's a good initiation. Unfortunately, you like the damage for it. And the Shotgun's already been using WS. They killed Ponyo. They also brought Akashi down to the low ground. They're going to concentrate on WS first, and WS will go down. Akashi's being ignored now as he uses the Pierce the Veil. Trying to finish up 23 Savage. But the damage is just not high enough. Akashi falls as Yoed tries his best to clear up. Did a couple of fancy things, but ultimately only kill the support and died right afterwards. Jokam as the next target. Like, kind of ignore him and just go for the tower instead. At least he has Axe though, John.
At least he has Axe. That is right now, bro. This is the highlight of gameplay today. If you were at 15 minutes ago, it would be a lot better. I don't know. I can't believe they're not calling it. It's actually the thought in my mind. I normally don't say that, but I'm actually at disbelief with Talon. So there you go. I was like, any more longer, I would just keep saying just GG. Aurora looked dominant, bounced back in the form you'd expect them to in game number 2. And this is the Aurora I feel like we kind of missed out on in game number 1. Talon pick Ember Spirit